Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Leon Atterbury with Conservative Express. As a proud black conservative, I wanted to give a shout out to some of my heroes in the black conservative movement. And despite what some people may think, there is actually a black conservative movement. And I wanted to give, again, a shout out to some of the men who have shaped my thinking on politics and whose courage I admire and respect because they've done a good job of getting out the conservative message through a lot of silliness and nonsense and frankly stupidity. The first person I want to give a shout out to, who I will consider these men my conservative black heroes, the first person is Justice Clarence Thomas. Justice Thomas is a man who I really didn't know that much about until he was nominated to the Supreme Court in 1991. And when he was nominated, that's one of actually, I should say, when he was confirmed, it was one of the best things that has happened to this country in many years because he has definitely proven to be one of the great jurists and legal minds in the history of our country. And people can always make fun and make a big deal about how he never asks questions, but you read his opinions, you'll see this man has a deep appreciation for the Constitution. And I actually had the honor of meeting him many years ago in his office at the Supreme Court, and it was just one of the biggest thrills of my life. The second person I want to send a shout out to is Dr. Thomas Sowell. Many of you may or may not know Dr. Sowell, but he's is really a grandfather to many black conservatives because his reading, his books, his lectures, listening to him on the radio, listening to him on interviews, it just makes you marvel that somebody like that is ridiculed the way he is. But the fact of the matter is, people are just afraid and intimidated by the man's intellectual prowess. He is a genius, and it's just a pleasure that I had to have met him many years ago. Another person I'd like to send a shout out to is Dr. Walter Williams, who I guess you could say he and Dr. Sowell are like brothers because they share the same philosophy pretty much. You read one book, you'll pretty much read the other person's book in terms of their approach is a bit different, but when I'm saying you'll read their book, you'll pretty much get what the other person's thinking. I find myself sometimes forgetting actually who said what because they agree on a lot of the same issues, and it's actually a pleasure to listen to them on Rush Limbaugh's show. Unfortunately, it's only once a year. I wish he was on TV or radio a little bit more, but he's not. But again, I had the honor, I've never met him, but I had the honor of talking to him on the telephone. And the last person I want to send a shout out to is a person many people may not remember, or should I say know. His name is Jay Parker. He's the president of the Lincoln Institute. It's a black conservative think tank based in Washington. I had the honor of meeting Mr. Parker one day during when Justice Thomas was nominated. I was in Washington. I was just walking. I saw his information in the paper in USA Today. As a matter of fact, I did some research, found out the address, walked up to him, knocked on his door, and for the next 2 hours, he schooled me on black conservative thinking and helped frame my thinking in terms of politics. I was still in college, and he did just a wonderful job. And I had lunch with him a few times afterwards, and he's just a wonderful man. So I want to send a shout out to 4 of my conservative black heroes, and just to say these are wonderful gentlemen, incredibly intelligent gentlemen who've had a very good impact on the thinking, and particularly with Justice Thomas, he's had a very positive impact on our nation's history. So gentlemen, thank you very much for what you've done to me in terms of helping my thinking, and just the odds that you guys face and the stupid names and epithets and attacks you get. based on idiocy, because people can't see why a black person would be a conservative, even though if they actually sat and listened to you, they would know why. And if you obviously know, as you gentlemen do, if you people would realize and listen to these attacks, they're not based on merit, they're based on attacking the person personally. So again, gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you for the impact you've had on my thinking.